wouldn't want that in my ears every day.
Mike will
got nothing to do.
Close it hard.
Oh, so you're not hitting like 12K hertz? Okay.
That's where people misunderstand.
Man, how do you shut it or open it?
The door popper button right here.
Oh, wow. Did you do that?
Yep.
Wow. Man.
Appreciate it, man.
What subs are these?
The DB4s.
DB4.
The original ones, not the
So are
new
they
ones.
2K RMS, 2500? What are they rated at?
I think 35.
35? Oh, wow.
remember.
So they're the 4-inch coils.
Yeah, those are
okay.
4s.
Wow. Let's see here. What's it tuned to?
33.
33?
It was 32, but I shrunk the box
Okay.
and raised the tuning a little
Yeah.
bit.
What's it meter?
I haven't metered yet.
Haven't metered it?
Somebody has a meter today, and I was like, I might throw it on later before I leave.
I could have brought mine, but I didn't want to. It'll break. Too many.
Yeah.
If you carry it around all day, the SSA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you throw it up on the window all the time, it'll break. Wears out. EGA John.
We gon' cut up.
while I do that shit.
Oh, my interject. What no crib. Got nothing to do. All these fools. Is my hobby. All of this.
I've never sat somewhere where you can hear the music over these high 50s, man. Holy crap. That's wicked.
I heard that shit from a mile away. I was like, oh, John's playing.
Yeah. Oh, you don't realize this sucker travels. I saw
Really?
your video with a distance test.
Oh, yeah, when I was driving?
Yeah. It's
I never
loud.
heard it by myself, like from a distance.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to hear how far away.
And
it's
you did
from.
this-
I want to hear this pick.
Yeah, it's loud, man. You got one more song for me,
Yeah,
Fred?
I'll give you one more.
Awesome.
I'll give you a high note.
Uh-oh. Do you know where you peak at least?
Pretty much all the builds in this car been anywhere between 36 and 38. So
Really? Oh, so a little low.
yeah, it peaks pretty low.
Okay.
The last build did a 59.5. So
And it went up from there. It's got to have.
yeah, I pretty much tripled in power almost. So
And you got JY Lithium?
it's not the JY80s, it's the K2, the 73s, the train cells.
Strapped up like a nigga beast. Strapped up like a nigga
That's good, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, John. Huh?
Oh, what
Chill
music?
with the explicit lyrics when you're the only one fucking playing. It's the only thing
Oh,
everybody in the whole
it's
fucking
wicked.
area
Appreciate it, John.
thinks.
Yeah, man.
When everybody's playing, it is
Yeah.
what it is. But
Blends in.
when you're the only one playing.
Cole was playing.
Man. Sounds good, right?
Oh yeah, they're screaming in your ears.
The doors hurt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that in my ears every day. When you're the only one playing, that's all everyone
Mike will.
I'm hand shooters, loading pistols while I'm brushing my teeth. And me, feel presses. I'm hand shooters, loading pistols while I'm brushing my teeth. I get so many Hand don't break, I don't act, just take. Black moves, black tape, play on point. Wake up and take a piss, I hear I'm sharpening the knives. Ain't focused.
Them eyes hurt your ear. Nasty eyes. What's up, guys? This is JacobViral for another commentary and shout out video. So EGA John setup I got to hear at Slamfest 2018. I have two topics I want to discuss about this system. One particular is how do you not go deaf from bass? So he has a lot of tweeters and mid bass in there. I briefly mentioned in the video, I didn't get much discussion on it. So depending on the frequency is where the deaf will come, like where your hearing can get affected a lot at a higher rate. I asked him, well, is anything playing above 12K hertz on his doors? And most of it's between 80 hertz and 3 to 5K hertz. So 3 to 5K hertz is pretty loud still in the high end, but he's not playing anything around the 10 to 12 to 15 to 18K hertz range. So normally if you're playing those higher frequencies, the higher your frequency at a louder decibel, the more damaging it is to your ears. So let's say you're playing a 50 hertz test tone at 150 dBs versus a 15K hertz test tone at 150 dBs. If you did 150 dBs at 15K hertz, you probably would go deaf from that, but you're not going to go deaf from 50 hertz at 150 decibels. Over time, the hearing is going to be affected regardless because we have hair in our ears. I don't know all the background to that, but I know it will slightly affect our ear hearing, but it's going to take a while. It's not going to just happen instantaneously. So I wanted to bring that up. You aren't going to go deaf immediately. It'll affect you over time. All of them highs and mids though, the higher notes are going to hurt your ears a lot more than the bass. So highs and mids, the mids not even, really just the high tweeters, the real high pitch is going to hurt your ears more. Next, second topic. So he had his last build before he tested in the meter. He did almost a 60 with his old setup. Now he's obviously doing 60s, probably 61s with all the amps and the way he's tuned it and all of that. But what's the difference between a 160 at 30 hertz versus a 160 at 50 hertz? So how do you not tap out, Jacob? Basically in this setup, he's probably doing high 50s on music, 58, 59 decibels. Almost full tilt, basically, probably full tilt for me. You can see how the subs were unfolding as I discussed in the last video. But basically, a 160 at 30 hertz is nowhere near as hurtful for your body and pressure to yourself as a 160 at 50 hertz. So if you're getting a 160 at a 50 hertz test tone, you're going to notice it's a lot more cringing, squeezing bass, the way the frequency hits you, versus a 30 hertz test tone. A 30 hertz range isn't going to be as rough and brutal for you, but it's a lot more wind and pressure buildup within the cabin. So that's why you see the subwoofers are obscuring a lot more around that 35 to 40 hertz range than that 50, 55 hertz range. It's going to be more brutal to the higher peak of the way your frequency reacts in your cabin. So I just wanted to bring that up. A 160 at 50 hertz is way more brutal than a 160 at 30 hertz range, which is what he was demoing, so it's not as hard. But he does peak a little high too, so you did notice a few times in there you might have a little cringe face or a little weird look I would have in there. But it's just because it's loud. I mean, your body reacts to it. I do it, plus it makes it look more brutal, and the demo is doing that. All right, now for the shout out, guys. I really appreciate you guys always watching. These commentaries are beneficial, even though it's an ugly wall I'm using. I'm in my dorm right now. The shout out for today goes to Alan Ray. I'll be putting it up here. Alan Ray, he made a comment, a couple of comments, but this is one I want to mention. Man, Jacob, I wish to see that many setups in person. I'm very thankful that you do this for us. Keep the vids coming. How about a shout out? So here's your shout out, man. Just had a question that came to me. What happens if your box is too big? No, your port is too big for your box. So first question I ask is, well, if your port is too big for your box, you're obviously not prefab, because most prefabs aren't. Ports are basically too small. It's normally a smaller enclosure. So normally if your port is too big, you'll know by the way your subwoofer reacts to the lower frequencies, and if it's too big, it means you're playing too low below your tuning, which means set your subsonic on your amplifier better, or you could retune your box. What you could do is, instead of adding, you could add some wood to the port, or you could add length to the port, depending. Let's say you have a 12 and you're running 60 square inches of port, but maybe it calls for 45. So all you got to do is add a strip of wood or two into the port, the length of it, to retune it. Or you can just rebuild the box, depending on if it's custom the way you built it or not, to retune it. That's the easy way. Some people run error ports, and if you do that, then you could just change from like an 8-inch to a 6-inch, or change the flares or the length of the flares to change the tuning. So if you really have a port, the port is too big, more question would be what kind of music you're playing, and if it's playing too low below frequency, and check your subsonic. So I hope that answers your question there. Thanks guys for always watching. I'll leave this video at that. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Comment is the shout outs. I'm doing a daily shout out to my commenters. Thanks again, Alan Ray, for your comment of the day shout outs. I appreciate you guys all watching. This is JacobViral out. Until the next time tomorrow. See you.